knocked out in the gym. What did you think about that? What do you think
I think it was. Oh well, we do know that he wasn't doing too well in the gym, but not enough to not call the fight off. You know, I think that it was kind of to me it was kind of funny because the first day they said somebody on his team got COVID, and then the next thing we heard was Tyson got COVID. So I thought that was a little fishy. So
and there was no official statement, right?
Yeah, and everybody's using the whole COVID thing for some type of plagiarism anyway. So it doesn't surprise me.
Wow, it's all coming down for Tyson Fury. There's only one Tyson Fury. Michael Hunter says he believes that Tyson Fury was not doing good ahead of his fight with Deontay Wilder for the third fight in preparations in sparring. We're going to talk about that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys throw a like on this video. When you guys hit the like button, it definitely goes a long way to notify other people that the content is fire. And this could be what they're looking for. So make sure you guys go ahead, share the video, and hit the like button so we can get the video in rotation. Now, you guys heard the clip at the beginning. Michael Hunter, decorated amateur. His father fought, fighter, heavyweight now. He was at cruiserweight. Fought Usyk, who's about to fight Joshua, right? And quiet as kept, a lot of people sleep on this, but he was one of the people who gave Usyk probably one of his toughest fights, if not the toughest fight from my standpoint. Now, he was caught up, like he was at the fight or whatever, and he was interviewed, link in the description, and he was asked about Tyson Fury and the whole Rona thing. And he says he believes, and I'm not going to quote it, you guys heard it at the beginning, so I'm not going to quote it verbatim, but basically he says that he believes that Tyson Fury was not doing well and faring well in his sparring, which caused the pullout basically. So he didn't go all the way in, but this is a bad look for Tyson Fury. Once again, the great Ego Stradamus strikes again. Tyson Fury, the walls are closing in. Little by little, you're starting to see more and more truth rear its ugly head into the mix. Now, Ego Stradamus strikes again. This is very funny to me because I do these videos, and me being first in a lot of these issues, it comes at a cost. When you're the first person to report something, then you'll automatically have people want to hear, and then you have other people who hear and don't like what you had to say. So as a result, they become naysayers or haters. They say you're lying, things like that. What I mean is this: smash the like button. I did a video, what you see on the screen. It says and poses this question: did Tyson Fury get beat up in sparring? Was Fury getting battered in sparring, right? And you see my thumbnail, I circled his eye. He had marks, like leather marks over his face, like over his cheek. He had a black eye and just scuff, and he just looked like a bruised turd. He looked, all intents and purposes, he looked battered. And I made a whole video. The great thing about this YouTube platform is I don't delete videos. I have no reason to. I abide by the YouTube community guidelines. I don't say anything that breaks YouTube partner terms or anything like that. And, I cover the sport of boxing. And I get paid from the videos. So there's no reason for me to remove content. So you see it on the screen. You guys are welcome to check that video, and I'll probably try to put a link in it, but it's a video I did 4 weeks ago. You guys can see it clearly. And when I did the video, asking these questions like, yo, Fury's face look all messed up. This is a recent interview. He's supposed to be training for Wilder. He's not looking like he's in good shape. Plus, in the video, I talked about how Bob Arum, Fury's own promoter, was saying that Tyson Fury was being pushed to the limit And certain sparring partners like Jared Anderson particularly was named in this Sky Sports interview with Bob Arum, was giving Fury hell. So I'm like, this doesn't look good. Your promoter says Jared Anderson, an up-and-coming prospect who Fury's camp is always praising, right? They always give him credit, like, oh, he's next up when Fury's done, or, you know what I mean? Whatever, Jared Anderson. So he must be good. He must be something that you feel like praising, right? So I put all this stuff together and I made the video. A lot of people understood it. Some people hate it and say, oh, you're lying, you're hating on Fury and blah, blah, blah. But ironically enough, I did the video 4 weeks ago, as you guys can see on the screen. A week after I did this video, asking if Fury, because I wasn't in his sparring, but I put everything together, True Detective, Young Forensic Files, right? I put it all together 4 weeks ago, and I posed this question, like, is Fury getting worked in sparring, right? Because it wasn't looking good. A week later, boom. See, 3 weeks ago. So my video was 4 weeks ago, posing the question like, man, is Fury getting beat down in sparring? 3 weeks ago, what happened? The very next week after I did that video and I posed this question, Fury tested positive for Rona, they said, and he was no longer able to fight at the end of the month, which already passed. We're in August now, but that was late July, July 24th. They said the fight is canceled for the month of July. And to the fans' dismay, to my dismay, you know, people were just upset and PO'd because this is a team that told you Tyson Fury had already been vaccinated and his whole corner. Then they switched it after and said he has Rona, not because the vaccination didn't work, but then they said because he only chose to get one dose of the vaccination and he didn't feel like getting the other second one. So either way, it made Fury look like either he's lying or he's incompetent and irresponsible, and his team lied on his behalf and said he was fully vaccinated. So any way you slice it, bad look for Team Fury. So 4 weeks ago, I posed the question, is Fury getting worked in sparring? Put it all together for you. A week later, he tested positive for the Rona. 6 days later, after he tested positive for the Rona, he was seen out and about. His face had cleared up from some of the markings and he had no face mask. So people were like, wait. He couldn't fight October 24th, but before October 24th, he was already out and about, pictured at bars, picture with no mask, supposed to have the mutated, worst version of the Rona, the Delta version. And he was renting cars at luxury car places. It just didn't look good. It didn't look good for someone that has Rona. Now, fast forward to the future, like you've seen in the title, you have Mike Hunter, who's saying he said things weren't going well for Fury, basically. Wow. The walls keep closing in on Sir Tyson Fury. Now, Michael Hunter has experience with Tyson Fury. He sparred him and they fought previously. This is an old article. Michael Hunter said, I beat Tyson Fury damn near to hell over 3 rounds, right? So you guys can do the research and whatever. So the two have experience together. They know each other. They fought each other in the amateurs. They've sparred more recently since both have been pros. And he says he doesn't believe it. Ironically enough, also, Michael Hunter says exactly what the great Ego Stradamus says. If you remember the reports, at first, the rumor, before it was officially announced, we heard a rumor that there was an outbreak in Tyson Fury's camp. That's what they said. They said 10 people had gotten sick with the Rona, and it was the Delta virus, the Delta variation, right? Come to find out, then later on, as the story developed, then they said it was Tyson Fury was one of the included. But before, his name wasn't mentioned. This is what Michael Hunter also mentioned in that interview. So it just looks extremely fishy. It looks like Fury and his team were lying. It looks like Fury, just simply put, wasn't ready. And I really do believe that he wasn't ready. He knows Wilder's dangerous. And it's just sad because he's constantly looking beat up. You know, he has bags under his eyes. He's been looking beat up multiple times. And he's just continuing to find ways to prolong what I think is coming in the third fight, right? Why does he always have cold sores and herpes on his lip? black eyes, marks on his face. First, he didn't want to fight Wilder because he was fighting Carlos Takam. Then they said it was Ajit Cabiel. Then they said he's fighting Joshua Undisputed in Saudi Arabia. 3 different fights, none of which happened. And then now you have people like Michael Hunter, who again, he doesn't necessarily have a horse in the race. He knows Tyson Fury and he knows Wilder, you know. And at the end of the day, he's saying he don't think Fury was doing good in training camp. And the rumors went from his sparring partners had it, which created a lot of contradictions as well. Like Joseph Parker, there's rumors saying he had it, and then he's telling the world after he was spotted out and about, just like Fury, that he didn't have it. So Fury looks like he's in terrible shape, and it looked like he wasn't ready, and it looks like he was getting worked over in sparring, and ultimately, you know, for a big fight, and he's risking the belts, his team looked like they found a way out to pull the plug. That's what it truly looks like to me. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know how I did in this video. Like the video, subscribe. Use my link in the description to get TUBEBUDDY. I promise.
Again, it's really, and look, let me tell you something. We tell all our fighters, you guys are fighting for big money, and promoters are laying out big money. Get yourself vaccinated so you don't contact the COVID. Now, you take the 2 fighters here, Fury is totally vaccinated, and I talked with Shelly Finkel a little while ago, and he said that Wilder's been fully vaccinated, and their corners have been vaccinated. That's taking responsibility.
Anything. For me, it's not really about the opponent. It's always about what I bring. And let's put it this way, I haven't found anyone to beat me so far, so I look forward to the challenges.
We're only 3 weeks away now from the fight. What goes through a fighter like yourself's mind 3 weeks out? Obviously, you've got a week of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday before the fight, where you've got obligations, press conferences, weigh-ins, all those things. What goes through the mind now in the last couple of weeks, through your mind and your body?
Nothing really. I don't really think about the fight until it's on upon us. My most important thing is to get to the fight injury-free, not to get some stupid cut in sparring or injury at the last minute or catch COVID even, or whatever there is. Whatever there is, the dangers out there, I try and avoid all that stuff, because the most important thing for any fighter is to get to the fight in one piece, and then you can do your best on the night. And it's a battle of willpower and a battle of attrition who wants it more on the night, or injury at the last minute, or catch COVID even. Catch COVID.